Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Are you freaking kidding me? This goes to show exactly how the game's played. It's the same connection that we've seen across all the Trump hoaxes every single time with these witch hunts. You have people working at federal agencies who are launching these investigations, trying to do everything in their power to take down Donald Trump because he's clearly perceived as such a monumental threat to the establishment status quo. And of course, they know that they can't do it themselves, so they use the media to do their dirty work, like the initial Steele dossier nonsense, for instance. The FBI used the media to write all these articles to help legitimize their claims, which was part of the process of illegally obtaining that FISA warrant. Well, now we're seeing the exact same thing. Yet again, another leak to the media that seems to be part of this organized, orchestrated, bogus, narrative-pushing campaign to destroy Donald Trump and, of course, affect the next election. The bombshell audio recording that we covered yesterday, which is supposedly at the crux, the nucleus of this entire indictment, Mar-a-Lago classified documents case, apparently, not only is it not a key component of the case, even though, from what we understood, it was supposedly the backbone of the case, apparently, it's not even part of the indictment anymore. It's not even part of the case, Jack Smith's special counsel case against Donald Trump. Let's get into this, folks. I'm going to be piggybacking on some opinions and some takes from some people who understand this legal stuff a whole lot better than I do. Let me fill you guys in on everything that's going on. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright friends, so let's first start off with Catherine Herridge, lead investigative reporter at CBS. She's the one who initially broke the news last night that apparently this Iran memo and the leaked audio file of Donald Trump's supposed mishandling of that Iran memo isn't even part of the case.
Trump has consistently said he declassified all the records he took from the White House. But in the recording...
As president, I could have declassified. Now I can't, but this is classified.
I think that the special counsel will be able to use this recording very effectively before a jury because he can argue that they've captured on tape the defendant narrating his own alleged criminal activity.
And CBS News has learned that Trump has not been charged for keeping the document he's talking about on that tape. Special counsel Jack Smith's office declined to answer our questions about the Iran memo or the audio tape. Trump has pleaded not guilty to all charges. Nora.
Catherine Herridge, thank you very much.
So what the hell is the point of all this? The Iran memo isn't even among the records underlying Trump's illegal retention charges. And that's been confirmed by a source. And if we're going to trust anybody's sources, we're going to trust Catherine Herridge. She is very much nonpartisan and has done some amazing work covering both sides. So the question is, what's the point? Well, of course, the point is to taint the jury pool. The point is to inject anti-Trump venom into the public discourse. The Gateway reports, and I'm going to add allegedly because the Gateway pundit likes to go hard on this type of stuff, it was all a lie. Dirty Jack Smith allegedly leaked Trump-Milley audio tape to fake news outlets to taint the jury pool and smear Trump, but it is not part of the bogus indictments against Trump. For weeks, special counsel Jack Smith has been allegedly leaking allegations to the lemming media on alleged classified information on a report discussed by President Trump to his associates and written by dummy Mark Milley, who surrendered Afghanistan to the Taliban and turned over $80 billion in U.S. weapons to a terrorist group. Milley wrote a report on his invasion plans into Iran that included the deployment of a massive number of troops into the Islamic State. This was obviously not taken seriously by President Trump or his staff, and Trump was the first U.S. president in decades to keep the U.S. out of any new wars. This recent leak by dirty special counsel Jack Smith involved Milley and some other nonsense that he wrote, involved Mark Milley and some nonsense that he wrote about invading Iran. The DOJ has been leaking the so-called classified information on the case to the mainstream media for weeks. Of course, yesterday we covered the leaked audio tape, which was supposedly the smoking gun, but apparently it's not actually even part of the indictment. It's not even part of the records, which is now incredibly confusing because we read the initial indictment and the transcript of that conversation was included. But apparently, according to Catherine Herridge, Trump isn't being charged over his retention of the Iran memo. So maybe I'm not doing the greatest job with the direction of this video, kind of laying this thing out, but here's my perspective. Here's what I'm thinking, and it's possible that I don't have a great grasp of this. It seems as though the strategy here, to leak an audio file or to leak anything related to the indictment, in any case like this would be illegal. It seems as though there's possibly an effort here from Jack Smith's office to purposely not include this leaked audio or to be charging Donald Trump on anything related to the Iran memo, so that it kind of gives his office the ability to then leak this to the media, create this big narrative ahead of jury selection, essentially poisoning, tainting the jury selection process so he can find success in his clear witch hunt against Donald Trump. Here's a breakdown from Jeff Clark on Twitter. I'm beginning to read the indictment against Trump, but even 3 pages in, it's clear that the leaks that preceded the indictment are far too close to what is actually being pleaded by DOJ to be a coincidence. For example, in paragraph 6A on page 3, we hear about the recording of the Bedminster call, which the MSNBCs of the world have been beating a dead horse about for a while based on such leaks. This means that Trump lawyers could not possibly be the source of the leaks. Ergo, the leaks are coming from the DOJ. They must be investigated and punished. Also, this is grounds for granting a motion highlighting jury pool poisoning and dismissing the indictment before it reaches even its 1-month birthday. All of this is so outrageous, it shocks the conscience. It's fundamentally anti-American. Trump witch hunt number what? I've lost count. Let's call it Trump witch hunt number 99. Indictment available here, read it for yourself. So this whole thing seems like some sort of leaking media narrative driven game where the DOJ doesn't actually have evidence that Donald Trump mishandled documents. The audio recording itself seems to be the biggest damning piece of evidence that they have, but even then, as Donald Trump mentioned, you just hear him kind of ruffling through papers. There seems to be no actual proof that he showed that Iran memo to anyone. So their strategy is to use their supposed smoking gun to create a perception through media leaks, which they believe is going to help them in the jury process. Now, maybe my understanding of this is totally wrong, and if it is, please let me know in the comments and let me know what you think's going on. But that's my grasp of the situation right now. I mean, this whole thing is incredibly weird. I've never seen anything like it, and we're clearly in uncharted territory. A former president of the United States being charged in this manner, I mean, is totally ridiculous.
Where if you're a former president and you have committed federal crimes in the presidency, don't worry, you get a pardon here. Now we're a different country.
Well, it seems a new precedent has been set. We're trying to jail your political opponents as part of the elections process. This whole thing is ridiculous. And it's even more ridiculous when you think about what the actual Iran memo was. Donald Trump is supposedly guilty for simply talking and making light of and making fun of a document related to a plan that was sent to him by Mark Milley to send troops on the ground in yet again another ridiculous, bogus, endless war. Trump is the bad guy for standing in the way of the military-industrial complex, is what it seems like to me. That's kind of the whole image here. He should face 400 years worth of charges for holding his own documents and very vaguely speaking about how the Pentagon was trying to rush him into another war and he stood in the way of it. The whole thing is unreal. It's more media leaks, more propaganda, and more narrative setting. And of course, one big bogus nonsense witch hunt. I don't know, that's pretty much where I'm at. Not super confident in the general coherence of this video, but it's complicated stuff and I tried my best. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Leave a like on the video, and of course subscribe if you guys want to join us here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.